Okay, so like I said, SAD-MEV is a huge one for you to remember for final exam. Anything that ascends is SAD, anything that descends is MEV. So let's go back between the two. And there we go. So this is an image you guys can review. Let's continue. What are the ventricles of the brain? Well, you don't want your brain to weigh 20 or 30 pounds, right? Can you imagine carrying that thing around all over the place? So what we do is we hollow out the brain and we provide fluid so that we can do two things. We can use the fluid to kind of protect the brain. If you've ever seen tofu, so this is how I like to think of the ventricles and then what we call the meninges, is some of you have no clue what I'm talking about. Tofu. Go and look for it at the store, pick it up, maybe swish it around a little bit. There's a reason why you never shake a keiki. Or in other words, you never shake a baby, you never shake a child. Because imagine their brain like tofu. So the more you impact it, the more damage you cause. So what's the reason for keeping a thing like tofu? Those of you that are like, what is tofu? Go look it up. That's why we have the internet. So we have tofu sitting inside of a container. And the container itself is plastic. So let's say that, what do I put inside the container? So the outer part is tough, durable plastic. The inside, in order to keep the shape of the tofu, which is otherwise known as the brain, I have to have a thin single cell layer of something. He's a soft mother, so we call this pia matter. So the pia actually helps to make the shape and form. If you peel that layer away, you have a soft, squishy inside. So this is how I like to think of it. And in between, we have this water. And the water is what we would call maybe CSF, cerebral spinal fluid. And what that helps to do is, in the case of CSF, it provides nutrients that we transport to the brain. It also allows protection, so it helps to resist and absorb shock from movement and changes. But we have another layer. So how I remember it is, let's say that I forgot to put the tofu in the refrigerator and I have it out on the counter and it's stuck under like a package of chips for about a year. Obviously, I didn't eat the chips either. So I have it stuck for about a year. And now I start seeing these like spider web looking fungus thing. And the spider web has a little layer going around it. It's disgusting. But I remember it as the arachnoid layer, right? Arachnoid means spider. So I call it arachnoid matter. Pia matter, dura matter, arachnoid matter. From the very outside in terms of layers, we have pia on the inside, arachnoid, and we have dura matter. Now, found underneath the arachnoid layer is called subarachnoid space. And what do we contain, or what's found in there? Well, you have an image, a disgusting image of all this mold, right, growing around your tofu because you left it for so long. So the subarachnoid space contains CSF. So we're going to say underneath the pia is the brain. This is layering. So we're doing two things. We're looking at the ventricles, and then we're also looking at what we call the meninges, and we're combining the two. So the meninges are found wrapped around the spinal cord. They're also found wrapped around the brain, and we said what their function was. But let's see what fluid or what type of fluid we have in each layer. So underneath the dural layer, or the tough mother, is the subdural space. And the subdural space contains veins, otherwise known as sinuses in the brain. And then you have the epidural, which is found above. So the epidural space contains arteries. And so if we're looking at the differences between the three, arteries have high pressure. Veins have maybe a little bit lower pressure, and then the lowest of them all is the subarachnoid space.